Power to the people. Power to the people. Power.
A beacon of hope, I'm blowing out smoke. I'm getting high, writing rhymes with my head to the sky, clapping at birds and giving praise. And you'll be amazed at what's displayed when the beat's played. Hey yo, this rhyme slays. Any rapper's irrelevant rant. This is your last chance. This is the change you've been waiting for, anticipating for. The metaphor is physical. This is why you did endure the hardship and tribulation, racism, humiliation. How can they shit on the people who truly built this nation? And I'm debating whether I should bring the axe, the ox, the beast, the dragon, or the battle cat. This ain't no battle rap. I had to leave that ghetto crap and tell the ghetto fags that being ghetto should lead to positive acts. This is the poem to tell the people who push that we gon' push back. Power to the people.
Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Cold hands and freezing feet. Across the heartbeat like a simple loop on the NPC drum machines. Eyes wide open like a hook. Looking to hunt his opponent. What a jerk. Like scavengers. Warfare the world want us to be. But I'm Egyptian. Originally black, not white. Slavery exists in my today. I know my past life. Not looking for money and jewels. Just freedom to breathe and rights to choose. Hate is a myth. Stop the evil from having his freedom and be stiff. Cause hip-hop is in him ever since he was born. My physical training was the main aim and the goal. The discrimination turned his physical dreams into a lyrical war. So let me tell you, you and your, we should believe, love, dream, submit, commit, should fight and achieve the free human rights from the underground prison hell. And be aware, Rastafari movement is international. UNITED, RPM, Run DMC, Joker Screw, your ass, Pak Shakur. Most death care was one. Anwar Sadat, Yasser Arafat, Abdel Nasser, Luther King, or Malcolm X. These are who we are representing on the streets. Cause positivity is the first step of peace. So get off your knees and let me hear you say, power to the people, power to the people, power to the people, power to the people, power to the people. The hood niggas in me can't escape from him. Cause he grew up with me, cause he grew up in me. I know you still didn't meet the love of future husband. You wish to have in me, you wish to have in me. I write you a poem to inspire your soul with my greatness. I mix my ink with the flower oil so you feel love of nature. To prove you're unreal, you need to understand my people need me. Cause the hood nigga learned love from his people. That's why the love of God, the nigga you need has hard time breathing. Yeah, don't get it twisted. This is unconditional love, believe me. Power to the people. Power, power. Power to the people, power, 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 power to the people, people.
Greetings, everybody. Peace and love. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to the World Media Coalition Jazz Level Television Network presentation of I Found My Voice with Van Miller. We have an amazing guest. And it's good to see everybody happy and healthy. Whether it's sweet. And hey, Azalea, how you doing?
How you doing?
Great. How are you all?
Good, good,
Nice
good. And while we still have Van Miller, I would definitely like to pass the mic to her so she can give us some beautiful words as she's in hustle mode.
You ready?
You got Mike, man.
You're on mute.
You?
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. And welcome to another Thursday of the Van Miller Talk Show. I Found My Voice. It's beautiful. We're traveling, so it's a little bit different for us today. And we like to say, welcome to our amazing guest today. Thank you, Frickson, for coming on, being our host. And thank you, Shan, for being with us as well.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
Sid, where you at today? You in where you at today, Sid? You all over the world.
Well, we're actually in Hilton Head, South Carolina today. It's beautiful and warm, winter, where it's raining, 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 raining.
Right on. We also a guest from the Gambia, and Sid make you one of us. So you're gonna be recording our production as well. Could we back up Makakubu Alel Bay for you that don't know, and it's Jazz Network. Wide. We are in Brazil. We are in Europe, which borders Ukraine with Zulu Vixen. We are in Russia. Sometimes, I don't know what it is today. Today, I think, are you?
Hello everyone, I'm doing great. I am in Ufa. Yeah, it's very snowy here, like it's falling like there has not been any winter. Uh, so yeah, aside from some weather anomalies, it's very nice. The number of COVID cases, unfortunately, is rising. Like most of my acquaintances are currently ill, and I myself was a bit like had a bit of temperature and coughs. Like now I'm okay. So yeah, in general,
Well, good health.
yeah, now everything is okay. Yeah, but in general, like this past week has been under this atmosphere of everybody getting ill, and also it getting very snowy outside.
I hear you. Well, it's good that you're with good health and bring them back and make sure healthy first, because we want to stay with too many people have left the planet behind that. Fix it, Zoo King.
Yeah, peace, everybody. How you doing? Glad to see you another Thursday, World Media Collision, Jazz Hours Television. Yeah, we continue build with you and also with Sid Hunter. We continue build in Russia Students Radio. Want to show you now some pictures from the physical studio where now can speak for the students community, see the picture in Ufa city, the museum of music that was built in the building of community for the students in this year. We call it tapes and vinyls. There are a lot of techniques and devices, analog, not this so modern gadgets, but so many vinyl tapes. You can see now on the video some of these devices. They all are working and have good sound today. So we continue to build and make the programs for the students also. Speaks with the students about education, about music, and also invite some students there in World Media Collision Jazz Lovers Television. So we continue share and the geography. So we have Africa, Uganda, India, Russia. So we make international movement not only about hip hop, not so Zulu Nation tribe built different ways for the community. So peace everybody, and glad to see you today in this show. Wish you good health in this pandemic times.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Thank you for that, because it's happened over there in Ukraine. I need to share with and as you heard, we are an international board work, and I want to ask Mark to put up a video for Greensoul so we can introduce important guests. Our traditional herbal medicine, asking her to share with us her story that video on please.
I'm sorry, brother, my cockavoo, I can't understand, you're breaking up. I can't hear you and quite well.
Yeah, your audio is breaking up a lot.
Let me do this. I'm gonna do this device and turn on my cell phone, because that volume on my cell phone is my audio better here. Or my audio. I'm with the other device, so I'll do it like that. You know. Let me my other device.
Say it again.
Let my other devices.
I'm not the host. I can't let anybody in.
Fixing, will let me in, please.
Sorry, can't understand you. The sound
He's trying
is
to get in on
break.
his other device. You gotta accept him into the room.
Oh, except I don't see.
Not good enough. Give me my other, please.
Now we will try to see. I see you.
Do you see? You see me?
Yeah. Try accept you.
I'm trying. It's coming in now. All right. So I'm changing rooms.
Okay.
Yeah, sound more good in this room.
Okay, good. What I was saying, Fixin, the video that I sent you for Greensoul, before I introduce the illustrious Azalea Blaylock, I want to open up with that video. Do I need to send it to you again, or do you remember? Do you have it? I sent it to you on Telegram.
Yeah, I have.
You mean video where the man?
Uh-oh, the dog's on the mic, folks.
Yes.
You sent me a video in Telegram where the man.
Ahmad, you want to pull it up, or
You mean this video?
no, not that one. Let me send you
Now
another
this.
one. We're gonna bring that one on up next, up in a little while. But I want. There's an introductory video. Ahmad, the one I emailed you.
Yeah, hold on.
You mean Fox 5 News?
No, not that one. Ahmad, to pull it up.
I think this is the one.
The last email I sent you.
Is this it? Can you see it?
Yes.
That's it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay.
Yes. Thank you. So again, this is the World Media Coalition, Jazz Lovers Television Network, an international television production network coming out of Brazil, United States, Lugansk Republic in Eastern Europe, and other parts of the world, including Nigeria, as well as Uganda and other places. I want to welcome our guest, Rahima, from the Gambia as well. She's in the production audience. And our illustrious guest today is none other than Azalea Blaylock, a traditional herbal medicine practitioner who has done a lot of healing. And right now she is under, well, let's have her talk about her healing practice first before we talk about the attack that she's under. At this point, Ms. Azalea Blaylock, please give us some background on yourself.
Okay. Well, I've been an Indigenous holistic healer for over 27 years in the community. And it started out because I was bedridden myself. I had autoimmune disease for 4 years, went to 90 pounds. And a gentleman, blind man, told me, you know, you're going to help a lot of people, start going to school and studying. So I did. I went to the Acupressure Institute in Berkeley, studied Chinese medicine. I started to travel all around the world, from Egypt to the rainforest with bush doctors over 100 years old, learning about cancer and disease and how it affects the body, even meeting Mama Popo, who was 128 years old. So after that, I was in Oakland, and in Oakland, I did soul beat health show for the community. I've always been for the community. And it was a pleasure because we set up holistic centers. Rahima knows about that. We set up community gardens. We had living food demonstrations and health food demonstrations and gardens for the homeless in the community every single solitary week. And we used our own funds. And the reason why we used our own funds was because they weren't addressing our needs. So I would flip houses, bring it back to the community. When we would do like Stars or the Wealthy, we do that person and then bring it back 90% to the community who could not afford it, or the community who, were middle class, because it can get very expensive holistic care. So I've helped aided, and I want to use that word aid because they're the healer. We're just 10% of it. It's between them and God, but we aided over 4,500 clients in stage 4 cancer. My success rate has been 75%. Diabetes, high blood pressure, and hepatitis. And we have loads of testimonials at Greensoul Lifestyle, my Instagram, clients from all around the world in all ages, with my youngest being 6 months old. So we have a lot of stories, and I really give a damn. I really care. I'm very thorough with my clients, even going to their homes, showing them how to grow their own foods, showing them how to set up their healing kitchens. Is past me. It goes into actually showing the clients how to do ancient remedies, iridology, tongue analysis, looking at the eyes and seeing, imbalances in the body before it gets to that extreme. So it's been a pleasure. Every client I love, every client I want to see succeed. And oftentimes when we take a client, we're spending 14, sometimes 24 hours a day with our clients, especially when they have stage 4 cancer, because it's a lot of work. So I want to thank you all, first of all of you on here. It was beautiful. To thank you, Brother Makakuvu, Brother Ahmad, Sister Van, all of you guys, brother from Russia, for coming on, because I really appreciate you.
Excellent. Thank you as well. I want to share the news story, okay? Because I want people to see this particular client that you just had to deal with, and his demise, which was no fault of yours. But I want to share that so that they can see his condition prior to you working with him. And then the video that Frickson was getting ready to pull up, I want people to see what he looked like after being with you for, how long was he with you?
He was with me a total of 28 days, but remember, and I want to say this, he was given 4 to 7 days to live.
Okay. So I want people to see, the result of your work with him and what he looked like before you began to work with him. Frickson, pull up that Fox 5 News, please.
Okay. Sorry, my internet not so quick.
That's all right. I got to use 2 and 3 devices to get us on, so it's okay. We're gonna get it together though. No, not that. Okay, we want the Fox 5 one.
Yeah, I try download it.
Okay, all right, good. You want me to try to send you another one?
I think there it is.
Oh, I have the link, but I try
Let me.
download.
Let me see if I can pull it up and send it to Ahmad.
Internet not so good today.
Okay, in the meantime, Azalea, you want to give us the backstory while I'm trying to get the video to Ahmad so he can pull it up?
Okay, I'll give you the backstory. So the attack, number one, is that they're saying that I was a medical doctor. His wife is saying that she thought I was a medical doctor on the Fox 5 News. That's what they're saying. And what ended up happening was a client of mine who was named Miss Barber, who's a teacher, and I had helped her with breast cancer. She had green goop coming out of her breast. I get all types of stories. And so she came to me and did exactly what I asked her to do. And I want to emphasize that because you can go ahead and you can give a person a program. You can tell them that cancer feeds off of sugar, but they have to do their part. Okay. It only works if they do their part. So anyway, what ended up happening is she ended up getting better. She ended up going back to her doctor. They said the cancer was gone. So what she ended up doing is she ended up telling, okay, I think this is it right here. You guys can look at it. Do you want me to continue or do you want to play that?
No, let's play that first and see.
Okay.
Okay, you were it's
I see only text, but video don't see. Oh, it's download.
okay, good.
Our Fox 5i team has learned the FDA is now investigating a woman who claimed to be a doctor while selling so-called health drinks to the public. Late last year, the I-team investigated Azalea Blaylock, who calls herself Dr. Azalea. Senior I-team reporter Dale Russell has the latest.
There's a lot going on. The FDA recently began looking into Azalea Blaylock's businesses. A medical board complaint stating she claimed to be a doctor has already been filed. And we heard from a woman who almost became a client of Azalea Blaylock.
She said she had a high cure rate.
I think Makakuvu, this is the third one. I think the first one is different.
For cancer patients.
Yes. Soleil Hamlet says she came oh so close. The FDA recently began looking into Azalea Blaylock's businesses. A medical board complaint stating she claimed to be a doctor has already been filed. And we heard from a woman who almost became a client of Azalea Blaylock.
She said she had a high cure rate for cancer patients.
Yes. Soleil Hamlet says she came oh so close to letting a woman she knew as Dr. Azalea treat her for stage 3 lymphoma. Soleil was producing one of her R&B music shows around the time she met Azalea. She became suspicious when Azalea told her Soleil was no longer human because she had taken a COVID vaccine before beginning her cancer treatment.
But she was going on to tell me that I was no longer human, that the government wouldn't consider me a human because I was now vaccinated and I had toxins in my body on top of the cancer toxins.
Soleil says the final red flag was when she saw a flyer describing Azalea's The flyer said the cost was normally $10,000, but was special only today. For
even go any farther because I was like, this is weird. Not paying that.
She decided to stick to traditional immunotherapy and forgot all about it until she saw Azalea Blaylock in a Fox 5 I-Team investigation.
This is Dr. Greensoul, Azalea holistic practitioner.
She calls herself Dr. Greensoul Azalea on her webpage and social media.
Welcome, this is Dr. Greensoul, Azalea.
But there's no record of her being any kind of doctor with the Georgia Medical Board.
I thought that she was a doctor because that's the way she introduced herself.
The I-Team reported how Valerie Hamlin filed a police report stating Blaylock conned her and her husband out of more than $12,000. They went on to spend more than $20,000 on treatments. Her husband, Mike, had stated. Valerie told the police Azalea claimed she was a doctor, and she tried a variety of holistic treatments on Mike before Valerie realized Azalea wasn't a medical doctor. The Hamlins returned home to Michigan. Mike died a short time later. And why do you tell people you're a doctor?
Because I am.
Azalea later texted us to say she never claimed to be a medical doctor. I am holistic healer based on ecclesiastical law. We also tested Azalea's GK chlorophyll, a drink she sells that she claims is packed with chlorophyll and can help a shopping list of serious ailments. Wrote us to say the data shows there is essentially no chlorophyll in the product. We told Azalea Blaylock what the lab found, and she texted us to say there is nothing but the herb plant itself used in the product. Fresh, the chlorophyll is the plant.
What did you think when you looked up and saw her on Fox 5?
I literally was like, oh my God. Like, I was screaming.
Soleil immediately put the story on her Facebook page, writing, OMG, this woman tried to treat me.
You're not a real doctor, and so it's sickening. Where's that money? What are you doing?
And she wasn't the only one who noticed. The I-Team has learned that the FDA has opened an investigation of Azalea Blaylock. The FDA has the power by law to marketplace and punish the people who put them there. Dale Russell, Fox 5 News.
Now, Azalea, before you continue, I just want to make a point here. People saw the picture of him with his wife and his skin and his weight. So I'm going to give it back to you, Azalea, and then we're going to show that other video of you asking him, is he still experiencing pain?
Okay.
And pay attention to what he looks like and his skin tone when she's talking to him in that other video.
Okay. So you want me to continue where I left off?
Go ahead, and we'll pull that other video up in a little while.
Okay. So first of all, I have to address this immediately. I'm a naturopathic doctor, okay, of holistic medicine. The word doctor means teacher, okay? If you look at my website, you'll see that it says Indigenous Holistic Healer. And so the news was showing part, as they normally do, of what's showing. When they showed me speaking, they were undercover. They pretended like they were a client, and I thought they were a normal client of mine. So I normally don't have people come to my home. So when the lady came, I said, come on, it's Sarah. And I said, Sarah, she says, oh, give me your address again. I said, okay. I thought it was a regular client of mine. So I go outside, I see them, and the first thing they ask me is, does this cure people? Now, I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody who's known me over 20 years knows that I never use the word cure. Never use the word cure, okay? Because I told them only God cures people. I said, but here's what this does for the body. And she asked me that 6 times. So what they were trying to do is they were trying to arrest me on the word cure. I've watched too many colleagues get killed on using the terms of the vaccination and the cure. I never talk about that, okay? So the news channel came up, ran up on me and said, are you a medical doctor? And I said, no. I said, I'm a holistic doctor of natural indigenous medicine, but they clipped that out, okay? And I went into the house because I was bum rushed. Okay, so they made it look like they interviewed me when they did not. He asked me for an interview afterwards, and I also showed him, I said, no, because my name and everything is copyrighted, okay? They cannot use my name, my face, unless I give permission. That's $1 million per copyright. I also sent them a cease and desist because I know law. Okay, that's the reason why I'm not in jail. Okay, we know law very well. And so this right here shows a cease and desist. They did not listen to that. Okay, and to address this, the woman is lying, his wife, his family, and they were lying, the Dale Russell News, because I sent this to him. On all my clients, I'm very careful. I have never been in any mess like this in 20 something years, because this is what I say to my clients. I give them a whole list, and I spent 2 hours with his wife, with his family, and with him. And this is what this says, and I'm going to show it to you. I have them sign, and I filmed it. It says, GK Michael Hamlin Detox Cancer Program, 90 days. Please note, cancer feeds off of sugar of any kind. I showed the family, this is my book, You Are the Healer. I showed the family what cancer looks like, okay? We took pictures because I've dealt with a lot of cancer clients. He has pancreatic cancer, which is a super fast growing cancer. I told him that I can't promise you life. Only God can promise you life. I said, I can aid in your detox. So I said, if you feed it sugar, it's like an octopus. It feeds off the sugar. That's a key point. Please remember that. It says, please note, cancer feeds off of any sugar. There is to be no sugar for 90 days. No processed foods, only fresh foods, mainly green vegetables, green juices. Processed foods, dead meats cause inflammation in the body and pain, and the cancer grows. 90 days is recommended to starve the cancer out and get the body cleansed into balance. Medical doctors have shown this. The cost of the stay is $45,000. I gave him 2 months free, and I gave him itemized of colonics, nurses, IVs, different people that I had to hire because I did not have my holistic center. He wanted a mansion, and I said, you don't want a house? He says, no. I said, well, I'll try to get it, because he had 4 to 7 days to live, he told me. He said 6 months with chemotherapy. He said, I don't want to do chemotherapy. I said, okay. He said, I'm mad at my doctor because my doctor is my frat brother who I've seen for 14 years for my high blood pressure and other illnesses and stuff that I have. And he didn't see it. He didn't catch it. I go every month to him and he didn't see it. He said, I don't want anything to do with the doctor. And so that's what he told me. So I want to finish telling you. So I showed him the itemized costs, include stay, treatments. It was $3,200 a month. I had to find my friend who had an Airbnb, and he came, I think, like the next day or two. It includes treatments, one-on-one service, reflexology, colonics, oxygen therapy, personalized report, acupressure, emotional releasing, living foods. I prepped all his foods, enemas every day, holistic modalities, detox wraps, and this was one-on-one care. And mind you, we were only supposed to do 3 days a week. We ended up spending 14 hours a day with this man, okay? Because that's how I roll. I work with you. So please note, a lot of study and time is put into each client. Below Mr. Michael Hamlin is your schedule for the next 90 days. Please note, payment is due up front as there are a lot of costs ahead of time and things that we have to pre-order. There is absolutely no refunds as items and supplies and services are bought and paid for in advance. So his herbs came up to $5,000, okay? So please note, we do not take the place of your medical doctor in doing the holistic services. Detox treatments, we do not promise a cure. This is ultimately up to God. We use ecclesiastical natural treatments and God's medicine to side in guiding in your journey. We want you to clearly understand that. We do not promise life in advanced stages of cancer or disease. By signing below, you understand and have read the above and agree to the treatment of ecclesiastical medicine. He was fully aware. His wife was there. His children was there. I explained it to them, and this is what he signed, fully aware. Okay, there's no way I would have that man sign if he was not. Okay, and I said that to his wife. I filmed it. I said it to his children. I filmed it. I said, when the person, I said, the success rate is if they follow through precisely. So there's some key points here. Number one, why is the news putting that I said I was a medical doctor? Okay, number one, why is his wife saying that I'm a medical doctor when clearly it states right here that I am not? Okay, and I get people when the medical doctors have given up on them, period. So did you want to go ahead and show that now, or you want me to keep going, Brother Makakuvu?
Would I like Kristen to pull up that video to show him?
You mean video in Telegram?
The one that you were trying to pull up already before.
Okay.
Michael, do you
Yeah, play that video.
Yeah, one moment. Try open it.
Okay. Well, the video that he's about to show, you have to remember that he told me he had 4 to 7 days to live. Okay. Okay. In that video, you will see he was in a lot of pain when he first came to me, lots of pain. Sugar and all of that causes inflammation, which causes pain in the body in my cancer clients. Michael, do you have pain today?
No.
Day 6, no pain today.
Not right now.
Michael, do you have pain today?
No.
Day 6, no pain today.
Not right now.
We're gonna celebrate that.
Right.
Now look at his skin tone. Now look at his skin and compare it to what he looked like standing in the pictures with his wife. Now, there's another interview that Fox 5 did with the nurse that Azalea had hired to examine him, and she was with him as well. And she made a statement in the interview that she became very concerned about his loss of weight. Now, if someone is overweight, suffering from cancer, and they take holistic treatment, their skin tone begins to clear up. They lose weight because of the starving of the disease. As a medical professional, why would you be concerned about his weight loss when you know his weight loss was his weight when he first came was directly related to his disease?
Absolutely. So I'm going to say something about that. She lied too. And the reason why she lied is because she was there when I told them clearly that I was not a medical doctor, that I was holistic. I'm going to tell you why she got upset. Because I hired her. She says on there that they hired her. That's not true. I hired her as an IV person because oftentimes when a person has cancer, they get dehydrated. And the person gets so dehydrated that they can actually die from, heart attack. So I always try to make sure that my clients are hydrated and they have the B6, B12s, oxygen therapy, and all of that. So that's why we have the daily IVs. Now she was charged $400 per IV. Okay. And that's the reason why I have the client pay in advance, because I have to pay, especially he came at the last minute. I set up everything for him like within the day or two. Okay. So I had to set up everything. I had to have the money. Well, I didn't get the money initially. And I want you guys to know that that's one of the biggest lies right there. He bought down his friend. He showed me a picture of he came down first. And when he first came down, he bought by his friend named Sylvia. And Sylvia, I thought, was his wife because he was showing me all pictures and stuff of her. Okay. And speaking highly of her. So he said, I want you to deal with her as far as the money. He says, I'm a Q dog. I'm going to have the frat brothers raise the money and so forth and so on. Now I took him and I gave him 2 months like that because of the fact that I knew the lady that referred him. So let me get to the point. So I talked to Sylvia. Sylvia goes ahead and says, you know what? I only have 10,000. Well, I'm saying, well, that's not going to be enough. And I said, this guy has 4 to 7 days. So I'm buying on time right now. Like, well, that's not enough money because his place is $3,200 a month that he picked. And, I don't have the money out of pocket to do that like that. So she said, oh, don't worry. In 7 days, we'll give you the rest. We'll give it to the frat brothers. And then he told me that her husband just passed and that she just got some money and that don't worry about it. So we went ahead and used the nurse, but the nurse ended up in 4 days being about $1,600 plus $3,200 a month for the Airbnb. And he wanted that in advance. Okay, so you can see the money was gone already. So I was coming out of pocket, and I have 3 children. People forget that healers have people to, bills to pay. They forget that in our community all the time. And it's very expensive when you're in the last stages. There's cost. So what ended up happening was I ended up paying more money, and I had to go to the nurse and I had to tell the nurse, we can't use you, or the IV lady. We can't use you because he doesn't have enough money right now. But later when he gets more money, maybe I can use you then. Well, she got mad. And so that's the reason why she went and did what she did. Okay. I guess she misinterpreted that, I didn't want to use her. It wasn't that. It was that we had to work with what he had, which was at that moment, nothing. So days later, my partner and we continue with this man. I mean, like 14 hours, 8 hours, staying overnight sometimes, because in the first part, they're detoxing and it's rough, giving him enemas every day, taking him to acupuncture, taking him to get oxygen therapy. We end up going to cleansing waters, and they gave us a package deal so that we could go ahead and continue his IV so he would not get dehydrated. I was praying with him, reading the Bible with him. He was going through angers, different parts of emotions. He told me he did not want his wife to come. And the reason why he said adamantly, and King is right here to say, he did not want his wife to come because he said she would disrupt his healing. Okay. And I was like, wait a minute.
I'm sorry. Say that again, please. She would do what?
Disrupt his healing.
Disrupt
his healing. And I said, wait a minute. I thought that was your wife. He says, no, that's my soror sister. He said some other things, but I'm going to leave that alone. So I said, you know what, Michael? I said, part of healing is you have to deal with the personal things too, emotions as well. And I referred him to a therapist as well, which, that was a whole nother story. So what ended up happening was we continued to work with him. And finally that's when his wife and his children came. When his wife and children came, that's when I explained to them everything. I answered all questions. I showed them the paperwork. I showed them, like, there's loads of paperwork that I went through with them. Okay. Loads of paperwork. Okay. That I had them sign and everything. So she's not telling the truth. I'm very thorough. And then clearly she knows, she says, oh no, Michael and us don't want to deal with the doctor because they gave up on us. They gave up on him 6 months. He doesn't want to do that. She said that herself. So when she came down, at that point, when you saw that 6th day, we were working on him, giving him wheatgrass, doing this, and his blood pressure went down. His blood pressure was super high. And I have all pictures and film showing his blood pressure and sugar just being excellent, okay? They went into an argument upstairs after some couple of days of her coming and talking about the lady Sylvia, because she didn't know Sylvia. She had never met Sylvia. Okay, they got into an argument, and then she went to the store, and I have pictures. She went to the store and bought him Snickers, Ho-Hos, milk, everything I told her not to give him. And I said, ma'am, I got to sit you down. I said, your husband has 4 to 7 days to live. He has pancreatic cancer, which takes people out quick. I showed you the picture of how this looks like an octopus and how it grows like roaches in the body, okay, off of sugar. I said, ma'am, you're going to kill your husband if you keep continuing bringing this around him. He's going to give in. I
Let
said,
me
if you.
stop for a moment, Azalea. I want to make this very clear. Do not interview with anybody else in terms of a major news network. Okay?
Yes.
If they want to interview you, you tell them to call me and we will interview you on our network with them.
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay?
100%.
And we will make sure that they hear the story. And I want to make sure that your credentials from your acupuncture training, from all your training, are evidence in the discussion.
That's right.
Okay? I'm sorry, but I had to say that.
No, thank you. I appreciate that so much. So I told her, I said, if you continue to bring this around and he eats this, he's surely to die. This is not a play game. And she said, as she bought in the chitlins and she bought in every pork, everything I told her not to bring and all his favorite foods. I said, do you love your husband? I took her to the side and said, do you really love your husband? I said, then you need to throw those foods away and eat like this with him, or not, at least not bring it around him. She said, I'm not doing that. And she went like this and went on upstairs. So King and I, and when I tell you this man, and I have to give it to him.
One more question. One more question. King was a witness to that conversation?
Absolutely. Well, not only King was, Skeeter's not here as well. But Skeeter, he's a country singer. He was there too. And he saw the whole thing. Yes, he did. King is right here.
Excellent.
I don't know. Did you want King to speak or do you want me to finish?
Of course. Of course. Okay. Anybody that's a witness that could collaborate what you're saying.
You want to come in?
And that's why I said no more public major networks.
No, I turned it down because see, what they asked me to come on after they bamboozled me, and I told Del Russell I would only come on if my friends were on with other cameras. And so I was on Instagram and he was supposed to have me on. And I said, I don't feel comfortable because they're best friends with you. His friend Sylvia is best friends with you. And, I feel like it's biased, I told him, okay, there's more to that story. And I can't say that because I don't want to do anything else with that, but they were friends. And so King, can you let them know what you saw? Because when we take on a client, I don't know anybody that does one-on-one hours like we did. Go ahead, King.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Good. I just want to say that, first and foremost, Azalea is very dedicated. Azalea is very dedicated to her cause, her purpose. Being a Black man myself, or an Aboriginal, whatever you want to call it, I feel like it's our duty to support our women because they are the key, actually, to our success in the city. You gotta turn that off, bro.
Turn it off, please.
And so that's why I'm there every day. That's why, I'm just as passionate about it as she is. Over the last 7 years since I've been with her, she has trained me and several others to be, holistically minded when you heal people. So people will come to her, to even advance in themselves. But I've never heard her, not even in a casual conversation, express herself to be a medical doctor. Not even use the word cure. Yeah. Every time we do this in our, little seminars we may have, or, just little circle talks we may have, if she hears anybody use either of those two terms, they immediately almost get like a slap on the wrist. Because that's not what we are about. We are about the healing, but that's not, as far as misrepresenting ourselves, that's not what we're about. That's not the goal at all. So back to, this particular client, he, at the end, just became redundant as far as, trying to start stuff and being messy. And his wife was eating, her regular diet, which is terrible for most of us. And she was just bringing it into the house, and she asked her to not do that. And one thing she was really concerned about was his weight. She kept talking about his weight. He looks better when he's heavier, whatever she think. So she kept trying to get him to eat stuff. But the problem was the only thing that she was bringing in for him to eat was what was available, which was not what he was supposed to be eating. So I don't know at what point he broke down in that, but when they left, and I got to clean it up behind everybody, in his drawer, you found Ensure. What you mean?
Yeah, we discharged him.
Well,
Yeah.
however you want to put it. After we cleaned up, they had all the Ensure and the snacks and all that kind of stuff. And we really tried our best to educate him on how dangerous that was for him. But notice, he came to us with only 4 days to live, and it was probably 3 or 2 left by the time he settled in, and then left, and we didn't hear from them for another month or so, and that's when he actually passed away. So he got extra weeks off of just those 28 days that we worked with him, and he was making good strides. He was turning the corner. He had regular blood pressure readings. He was having good bowel movements. He was still walking and talking. He was swallowing. He was drinking water. He was doing all this stuff on his own, climbing steps.
Yeah.
So we knew that he could make that turn, but this whole thing just got ugly.
Yeah. But let me say it's very crucial, especially in a situation like this, because I work with a lot of clients. It's very crucial. It's a 50-50 if they're going to turn either way. And that's why I tell people, please let me prepare everything for them, because of the fact that generally what you're doing a lot of is juicing, because the body cannot, basically it's like a toilet that's full of feces. If it's full of feces, you don't add food on top of it, it's going to ferment more. So you're doing live wheatgrass, you're doing live chlorophyll, you're doing live juices, you're doing everything living so that it can fight and loosen the tentacles of this particular cancer. Okay. And I have a picture showing all the cancer and the gallstones and the kidney stones coming out. He was releasing like 80 to 90 or more a day of the cancer. I'm not kidding. It's like I have pictures and videos of it coming out. So what ended up happening with him, we continued on with him. She ended up arguing with him. We found out later she was feeding him stuff at nighttime, because later on I noticed like a little decline, and I was wondering what's going on. And so we were out of, I talked to his daughter, because his friend said she wasn't going to deal with him anymore because the wife came. She didn't like the wife. And I'm just like, okay, well, do you know the wife? She's never met the wife. Okay, but they've known each other 40 years or so. Okay, so she said she wasn't going to pay the rest of the money. So here we were in a situation. And I said, well, King and I was like, well, we can't do that. And we can't leave this man who has a short time to live. We were in a dilemma. Okay, then our car broke down. Okay, so we were trying to get rich. Our car broke down in Skeeter. We had to get a ride from Skeeter to go all the way across town to the gentleman. And so what we did is we sacrificed and used our funds to go ahead to help him. Okay. And so what ended up happening was I talked to the daughter and I said, look, this is the situation. I said, we're working with your dad. We're not going to stop right now. I said, but we need to get paid from someone, because he agreed to $45,000, and that was the itemized stuff for all the services that we have to take him to. And she said, oh my God, she started crying, and she's like, okay, I don't have it. And then she tried to give 1,000 more. And then what ended up happening was I talked to the wife, and she's like, okay, I'll try to do a little bit more, but I'll give you the rest at the end of the week. That didn't happen. They got into an argument again, and she was about to go back to Detroit. We were in the middle of still working on him at a crucial stage. And I'm like, you cannot leave right now. We have to figure something out. We were out $22,000 something, right? Because it was $45,000. We didn't have the money. Okay. When I get stuff like this, when I get money from wealthy clients, might be only once or twice a year. We're doing the poor who don't have money are 90%, and we're using it towards them. That's how we've always done this. This has been the thing of a healer, you know, especially a healer from the hood. So what ended up happening was, this was it for me. So we were going to continue care. We continued care 28 days in. And this was it for me. I had went through everything with Michael. And I said, we're in it to win it. We would do affirmations, prayers, everything. I went upstairs. He had me go upstairs to check to get a towel. So I go upstairs to check to get a towel, and I see on his bed at least $40,000. And I said, wow, this guy bamboozled me. And his wife said, what are you doing in here? And I said, I'm getting a towel for Michael. Now, mind you, we had been working 8 14-hour days with him, sometimes staying the night with him, okay, around the clock, okay? So like we normally do. And so I said, Michael, I said, I hate discussing this with you. I said, but we just came out of pocket and we don't have any more money to pay everybody else. And I said, that's why it was $45,000. I showed you the itemized, I went over everything with you, the cost, everything, and you agreed to that. And I said, he said, let me tell you something. He says, that money's going towards my family. You're not getting a dime, you're not getting anything. And I said, sir, we've come out of pocket. And I just said, okay. Because I didn't want to argue with him. This man was sick, okay? So I called one of my friends to talk with him who collects, she's in a business. And she said, sir, she says, can we work out something? Because this is how much they spent. We have to finish your care, and there's cost for your care. And they hung up, they refused to talk. And I have all the texts, emails, everything. They refused to talk to her. So what I did was, I still want to be professional. I found out what insurance he had. And I went ahead and I said to him, and I have it in text, I said, you know what? I'm going to put together a packet. I sent him the email, and I'm going to hook you up in Detroit. When you go back home, I'm going to hook you up with a holistic and medical doctor that takes your insurance. So I sent that to him and his wife, and they refused it. But I sent him people who were next, Alice Wong, people who would work with him. I called, spent hours, still trying to help him. Even though he was acting mean, I still tried to help him, and still was seeing like different doctors that were next to him. He's a holistic doctor that I knew was very good. So you can see I sent them a whole package.
That guy's in Detroit.
Yeah, and he's Detroit, like right down the street from him. I talked to all these people to help him, still trying to help this man to live, because I don't want to see any client die. I don't care how angry they get, I'm to win it, right? But I can't come out $22,000 because we don't have it. We have a family to raise, especially when you have it. Okay, so he had it and he refused, and he told me, now this is what happened. He says, white people, he says, black people, my Q dogs, they all raise that money. Yes, they end up raising the rest. And he says, I'm not giving it to you. It's going towards my family. Okay, that's his choice. I said, that's your choice, sir. I said, but I'm in the middle of trying to take care of you, and I can't properly do that, you know, and continue that for you like that. And so what he did is he threatened me, threatened my life. And he told King, he said, if you discharge us now, he said, she won't be here. And he said, I'm gonna have white people in high places and she's going down. And he called King and said, you better leave her now while you can. That's what he told her. So Chris, who was the Airbnb guy, who we became friends, his wife had died of cancer as well. And we had used his home, his mansion. And he went to Chris and started talking about me to Chris because I said, you know, discharge. And Chris said, you have the money. Chris said, why won't you pay her so she can continue to help you? He said, she has taken meticulous care of you. I've never seen anybody do one-on-one care like that. And it's expensive. He said, I spent thousands of dollars on my wife and she's gone and it's looked like she's helping you. And he said, oh, I guess you're not going to be on my side. That's what he told me. He said, sir, let me tell you something. He says, you should concentrate on your healing instead of concentrating on anger. And so he ended up, I discharged him. He said they left. No, we discharged him. When we went upstairs, that's when we saw all the ho-hos and the Snickers and everything in there. We found out he started eating that. There was urine all over the place. They left everything a mess. We spent 10 hours cleaning. So what ended up happening after that was his friend Sylvia called and said, you discharged. She says, your life is going to be hell. She says, I know everybody. I'm friends with the news. And she says, you're going to go down. That's what she told me. And so I really feel like what ended up happening was Mr. Hamlin, although I love Mr. Hamlin because Mr. Hamlin bought me, I love all my clients. He bought me this purse, okay? In the beginning portion, this is a $400 purse. I told him to use it on himself, not me, but he said, thank you for the care. So that shows you right there that we gave him excellent care, okay? He just refused to pay. And what he did is he blamed it that we took the money, so that all the money that the news people gave him and other people, he put it on us.
Beside the point.
But they have to know that when he decided to let his family keep it, you see. So he made the decision to leave. He did not do the 90 days.
Right.
Okay. He only did 28 days. And my cancer clients, and I want to say this, that have been successful, did 90 days. Now I'm going to tell you one example of another gentleman. His name was, I forget his name. It's been a while ago. I worked on so many clients. And I see his face, but
Mr. Varner,
no, Mr. Varner's still alive. He's a cancer client that I have, and you can see on my YouTube, Azalea Blaylock. He's on there, and we just were with him yesterday. But he followed everything. He didn't have the money, but we continued to help him, showed him how to grow his own foods and everything. And he's still here at the age of 83. There's another gentleman where he had pancreatic cancer. His daughter came to me. And I'll never forget that she came to me crying because her mother had died. And she says, can you help my dad? I said, I can't promise a cure. I said, did the same thing, but he followed all the way through. And his wife was making his obituary. I'll never forget this. And I told his wife, you're going to have to leave. This is another couple. I said, if you're going to plan for him to die and we're planning for him to live, I said, you're going to have to leave. So she left. We worked with him 90 days and they were able to see, 6, 7, 8 years later, their grandchild and everything. But it was rough. The guy went down to a lot of weight. And then after the 90 days or so, then 6 months later, it regained back because that's what happens. This cancer has to come out, you guys. So we're only 10%. It's up to the client to follow through. Now, I really feel like his demise was because his wife went ahead and fed him the sugar. Who knows? Only God knows that, but I just want to say I love my clients and I do the best for my clients and I'm very thorough with my clients, but it's up to them to follow what is said and follow up with no sugar, the wheatgrass and continue on. And he did not do that. He gave in to his wife and his wife continued to eat the sugar and that will take you right out with pancreatic cancer. I'm the type of person that if it is my fault, I will tell you guys, I wouldn't even be having this conversation with you guys. I would be saying, you know what, I messed up and I take full responsibility. That's what I would have said had that had been something that I feel that I was at fault, but there was so much lying. You guys see again, this signature, so much lying, like, it's ridiculous. And so now I'm getting death threats every day. My family, I have 3 children. I have helped so many people in the community aid in their healing journey. And I'm coming out to you guys because number one, am I scared of death? No, I'm not scared. Am I in fear? No, I'm not in fear, but I have children. And I shouldn't have to go out here and then because of the lies of these people, the lies of the news, the lies of his wife, the lies of the nurse, and go out here and get death threats every time I step out the house, okay? My kids getting death threats. The undercover person from Fox 5 News harassing my daughter. She's 24. He's harassing my daughter, talking about, I want to date you. Oh, look at this, look at that. We had libel and slander, okay, in both ways. And, then they go ahead, and I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to say this to you guys. I don't mention vaccinations on anything. So they get the girl who I don't even remember. And then she talks about vaccinations at a timely time, right? I don't mention vaccination. That's a personal choice, okay? You will never hear me mention that publicly. Never. I don't do that. It's up to you to research, to look things up, and to make that decision for yourself, okay? And I do that with all my clients. I work with a lot of doctors. In fact, one of the doctors, a lot of them are my clients, okay? Because they believe in natural medicine, okay? So I'm not against doctors that, medical doctors, you know, they have their place, you know, so they're making it seem just crazy. And truly, I'm going to tell you something, my chlorophyll, now let's go into that. I show on my film, I have film after film after film. I show the children growing the chlorophyll in the community, the homeless growing the chlorophyll in the community. It's made from wheatgrass. I'm going to tell you the ingredients so you can make it yourself. Wheatgrass, okay? And the reason why I use wheatgrass is because in Hiroshima, I do a lot of studying. When they did the nuclear bombs on the wheatgrass was able to get the radiation and stuff and make it into consumable nutrients. Read the article on wheatgrass. Don't take my word for it. It's able to give the body loads of nutrients and starve out the cancer and disease. I use chickweed. Chickweed basically goes ahead and it helps in aiding and shrinking tumors. Okay, I use cilantro because this is what I used. Loads. I couldn't drink anything else but wheatgrass and chlorophyll. Chickweed, cilantro. Cilantro takes out heavy metals out the body, okay? Because a lot of times you have a lot of heavy metals and things, you know, from mercury in the mouth, using aluminum foil, things like that. Kudzu. Kudzu grows wild here, okay? But kudzu also helps in studies show, and I have that in my book, You Are the Healer at gkherbalshop.com. It's just $25. Y'all can see it. I have all the studies in here talking about kudzu, the studies, the actual studies with cancer and alcoholism. And see, I'm trying to think, and we use distilled peppermint because it gives oxygen. Oxygen, disease can't live in a body full of oxygen. That's what I use in the chlorophyll. And how I do the chlorophyll? Straight from the ground, straight to the blender, straight to the sun. That's it. So them saying, and you know, there's no chlorophyll in my chlorophyll. Are you that dumb? The chlorophyll is the plant. So you got to ask yourself this question, because I'm not going out of punk. I'm not going nowhere. Okay. And this is the thing. You have to ask yourself this question. Why would they use me and try to attack the chlorophyll that is grown by the community and is made by the community and that gives jobs to the community? Why would they go ahead and attack chlorophyll at a time when this stuff is going on at an all-time high? Why would they do that? I'm going to ask you that question. You pay attention. Then somebody said, well, maybe she went ahead and she put green dye in the chlorophyll. I'm very sensitive. Like I said, I was bedridden for 4 years. I was hit by a drunk driver, kidneys crushed, kidneys working at 20%, got them to 70%. I'm on my own healing journey. I'm not perfect. That's why I share it with you guys, because I don't ever want to see anybody in my community looking to me or looking to someone else. I see my clients a couple of times and that's it. And I tell them, you are the healer. That's why we have classes. You make your own medicine. You make your own chlorophyll. You make your own tinctures, okay? I've spent years with families teaching them. One lady has 7 kids, teaching them, okay, so-and-so has asthma, look at their tongue. You'll see a white coating on their tongue, okay? You guys can put labels to it, but it's just healing, you guys. I constantly travel and add. Look at the tongue. In the Egyptian medicine, they looked at the tongue. The tongue was blue, oxygen problems. The tongue was white, yeast in it. You have blue under the tongue, heart imbalances. You look at the eyes, the left eye represents the left side of the body, the right eye, the right side of the body. It's fascinating. And I teach little children, I teach their family, I teach their adults. It's called the Greensoul movement, and I'm going to continue as long as God and the trillions of angels let me, okay? So, you know, these people, they continue to attack. I have 70 naturopathic doctor friends and colleagues that are dead, okay? They're gone. And they all died mysteriously in all these different ways. And what do they all have in common? They talked about vaccinations, okay? What do they all have in common, okay? One committed suicide. I said, I ain't committing suicide. Bob Marley got a needle stuck in his shoe, you know, all these different things, you know. So I want to put positivity out here. And I thank you, Brother Makakuvu. After this, we heard not too long after that he had passed. I didn't know, you know, and so that's when the news went ahead, and I don't watch TV, and King went ahead and he was watching football. We don't never hardly watch TV, but that one time, and I saw myself on the news. And so that's when I sent that gentleman stuff. I told him to cease and desist. My stuff is copyrighted. You're not telling the whole story. You're not telling the truth. And now they're doing an FDA report. I shut down everything right now temporarily. I shut everything down because FDA on what? Chlorophyll straight from the ground? What, you're trying to say I was a medical doctor? I said I was a medical doctor? I didn't say I was a medical doctor. It's right here. It's on film. You know, so this tell lie vision, they tell lies to people. And I really see how the media creates a circus, and I don't believe anything they say anymore. And so, Brother Makakuvu, I turned that down because of that very reason. And, you know, because they just don't simply tell the truth. And, you know, our community has amazing healers, but the healers are under attack because when we really try to help the people, you know, they come after us. And so we need more support from the community in speaking up, you know, and speaking up and going back to our traditional medicines. And I want you guys to know this. Thank you guys. I want you guys to know this. Darika, thank you so much. Oh, I thank you for introducing me to him, to Darika. I just want you guys to know this, that the UN DRIP states Article 24, because this guy has taught me law. And it says that Article 24.
Let me say this. When you say UN DRIP, that's the United Nations Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People. That's what that people.
Thank you, Brother Michael. This man taught me law here, okay? This man knows law, and like the back of his hand. And I'm so thankful because the UN DRIP states that Article 24, and I know the sections and everything, y'all. It states that we can practice our traditional medicine as healers wherever we are because this is our land, okay? So it's been a lot of education because what I've decided to do, I got myself together. The first 3 days I cried, I ain't gonna even lie, because I love that man. I love every client I work with. I'm like, why are you going against a person, the only person that was trying to help you? I love that.
Copy there, okay, because you said something I got to address. And I got to address what you just said. Was because the attack is not against the peoples of healing. And this is what I mention to our people all the time. The attack is against the creator and against the truth. So you cannot run around talking about you believe in God that the white folks have taught you to believe in. You cannot run around talking about you believe in Jesus that your enemy has taught you to believe in. The attack is not against us. It's against the truth of creation. I was watching the news yesterday. I study the news, people, because that's my business. I study the news. They are going to destroy the International Space Station so it drops into the ocean.
Wow.
Okay? So it drops to the ocean. I've said many times, you need to research the prophecy of the birth of the white buffalo. Because that prophecy speaks about this time. That prophecy said over 2,000 years ago, before Jesus, before Moses, that prophecy said, beware the birth of the white buffalo. For the white buffalo is a sign. And that prophecy comes from this land. It's an indigenous prophecy. It says, beware the birth of the white buffalo. Because the birth of the white buffalo is a sign that mankind has until the 21st year of the 21st century to redeem himself before the great purification. The 21st day of the 21st year of the 21st century, January 21st, 2021, the day after the inauguration of the current president,
Wow.
15 days after the last president launched his insurrection against this land. Our people are the victims of a horrendous curse that's over 500 years old. And the only way to break that curse, people, is to reverse everything. Reverse everything. You cannot embrace their lies and think that you are going to be saved. The only way you can be saved is to lift fallen humanity. That's what people say, I'm blessed. Oh, you're not blessed, people. First of all, blessed is a word that comes from a German word that means blood sacrifice.
Wow.
So if you're claiming that you're blessed, that means you are sacrificial. Okay?
Yeah, let's talk the blessings, peace and bliss, not bless.
That's
Blessings.
right.
That's right. Like we teach in Universal Zulu Nation too.
Okay, so now that means, that prophecy means, and it says before the great purification. Well, people, the great purification has already begun. The ice caps are melting. Why do you think this cold air is coming down here? The Arctic vortex is moving south. They got almost 4 feet of snow in the Northeast. There's more snow coming. You got heavy rains coming. Some of these heavy rains are ice that has melted, that had been frozen for 20,000 years. Think about that, people. So us, have to be able to embrace the truth of the land. It says, and I don't quote the Bible very much, but it says, and I think it's the book of Jeremiah, somebody, that if my people turn their face unto me, I will heal the land. It don't say I heal the people. It says I heal the land. Why? Because the people get their sustenance from the land. So if the land is sick and it's not healed, then the people will remain sick. So I don't mean to talk about nobody's religion, but I gotta share the truth. Because the only religion is truth. Is truth. You want to know what religion the Creator is? Ain't no religion that the Creator has. Ain't no religion the Creator has. The Creator creates in truth and love and provides everything for the sustenance of man, for man to be successful. For man to be successful. That's why I said, Azalea, you don't talk to nobody. They want to interview you. That you come on this show and interview here so we can hear them try to defend their lives.
Yeah, that's right.
Because the Tell Live Vision is a propaganda mechanism.
That's right.
It's a propaganda mechanism. There it is. The clowns. There it is.
Hurry up, the news of Fox 5 just about to start. Fox 5 is clowns. It's mainstream media propaganda.
That's right.
They do their job. Same thing that they make every day there in Lugansk People's Republic. This Fox 5 and other same media just came to Ukraine and show that they fight with so-called Russian aggression, but it's not true. They not talk the truth. I'm living in Lugansk People's Republic, and I feel every day the struggle about the war since that it's not, you must know that it's not war between Russia and Ukraine. It's war it's civil war between native Aboriginal people, Russian native people in Donbas area that fight with Ukrainian government, that try destroy and make genocide of Russian Aboriginal native people in Donbas area, east south part of Ukraine land. And the media in USA, Fox 5 and others shows that is a war between Russia and Ukraine. It's not true. So it's same story with health and with wars. It's all about propaganda.
Pull up that picture of the head of Blackwater, who is in the area now. Pull that picture up.
Yeah, Blackwater, private military companies how long came to Ukraine and study Ukrainian soldiers killing our people. About 5 or 6 our rebels was kidnapped by these Blackwater soldiers. And media in Fox 5 don't tell about this. They don't show this. Ukraine media don't show this. And our political prisoners now still in the Ukrainian government prisons, and nobody talk about them.
Now Blackwater, that changed their name, by the way, people. Blackwater was operating with the United States government in Iraq and Afghanistan. Blackwater, the owner of Blackwater, I can't think of his name right now, was the brother of the former Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, who was put in as Secretary of Education, Department of Education, by the former so-called president, Donald Trump. Now, so do you have that picture?
Yeah,
Do you have that picture?
Yeah, this so-called Blackwater, and today they have another name of academics or forward observations group. So it's the same private military soldiers that came now to Ukraine and trained Ukrainian soldiers, kill our native Aboriginal Russian people in Donbas area, Lugansk People's Republic. We don't want to be under the control of Ukrainian government. We want to be independent, and we are Russian speaker people. We're not Ukrainian in mind. I was born with my thoughts and words and minds in Russian, not Ukrainian, my native land, and my forefathers and ancestors was Russian people. So, these military private companies just make the money. They was in Syria, in Iraq, and today they in Ukraine train the soldiers, kill the people.
Udamaki, you're a line of the new dawn. May the healing powers of the universe arise within us. May the healing powers of the universe arise within us. May the healing powers of the universe arise within us. Udamaki, you're a line of the new dawn. So this is very significant, people, because the less we are in, have the ability to tell our own story, to raise our own people, to save our own people, to raise the consciousness of our own people without interference. And the United Nations Declaration of Indigenous People is very significant, people, because it is the counter distinction between Doom Diversas. Most of you have never heard of Doom Diversas. Doom Diversas is DUMDIVERS. It's a document that came out of, it's a papal bull, PAPALBULE, a papal bull or church edict is church law. That papal bull was authorized and written by Pope Nicholas V in 1452. The Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People is in direct contradistinction to that papal bull. That papal bull says this, and you can research it yourself, folks. Don't take my word for it. That papal bull is over 1452, almost 700 years old, people, and it's still in place right now. That papal bull says this. It was to King Gregory. Was it Gregory or Alexander? One of them. You can read it. It says they have the right to go around the world in their ships. They call it the age of exploration, and claim the lands of that they come upon. Here it is. Claim the lands that they come upon for the Catholic Church. To claim the wealth of the land for the Catholic Church. To enslave the people into perpetuity forever. That's why right now, African American is simply another name for slave. Okay? Now, here's the real kicker though. Not only are we us are enslaved into forever, they said in that document, you can read it for yourself, that all indigenous people will be declared enemies of Jesus Christ. Okay? Now, check this out. Check out the psychology, people. You got Black folks running around, jumping up and down on Sunday, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And our people have been declared enemies of Jesus and don't even know it, but we think he is our savior. Okay? Read it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. You don't have to. You've been educated and taught by our oppressor. And if you don't research the truth, our enslavement will be forever. That's why you hear me say, Udama Akayo. Udama Akayo, I want to share something with you. Because I almost died 9 times. I almost died 9 times. I had blood poisoning for almost 30 years. I had to become a traditional herbal medicine practitioner because modern medicine did not discover my blood poisoning my blood toxicity that was being poisoned by my own body waste. I was diagnosed by a traditional herbal medicine practitioner who was a colonic therapist, and she diagnosed me on the telephone. Over the telephone. I went to 3 or 4 different doctors, 2 or 3 different emergency rooms, and they would tell me it was diabetes. So now, there's one particular time in 2011. Now, I was diagnosed with diabetes in 1995. But my blood was diagnosed being poisoned by my body waste in 1998. The blood poisoning caused my sugar level to be high. You heard Azalea say, when she started cleansing, the man's sugar leveled off, his blood pressure leveled off. So now, 2011, I used to get all these infections. I had about 5 different toes amputated, and I had my right leg amputated below the knee in 2013. I'm dealing with a very bad infection in my right foot in 2011. I called my colonic therapist, who was the one who diagnosed me over the telephone. And she said, Makakuvu, you gotta pray. You gotta ask God, you gotta ask Jesus why these infections keep coming back. Now I pray all the time, people. But I ain't praying to so-called God, and I ain't praying to so-called Jesus. I pray to the chair, to the creator, to the infinite intelligence, to divine intelligence of creator. Okay? She said, you gotta pray. So I go home that night, I go into a deep prayer. And many of you know, I was sick several weeks ago, okay? When I went into that deep prayer in 2011 in my sleep, a voice began to speak to me in my sleep. The voice was so profound, I started crying in my sleep. When I came home from the hospital several weeks ago, after 12 hours, they diagnosed me with COVID. Didn't give me no medicine, sent me home. I came home and started redoing everything I do anyway, and I'm much better. But when I came back home, the voice said to me, repeat my message that I sent to you in 2011. I began to say that. Anyway, I'm gonna share the message with you now, because you need to hear it. The voice said to me in 2011 in my sleep, quote, we were with you when you were a little boy, sitting on the oil tank on the side of your house, with your face toward the sun, thinking to yourself, with your face toward the sun, with your eyes closed, thinking to yourself, there must be more to life than this. We were with you then, we are with you now. We didn't abandon you then, we will not abandon you now. We gave you a tongue, Udama Akayu. We revealed to you your spiritual name, Makakuvu. You must not go to a darker path. You must not go to Islam. You must not go to Christianity. You must not go to Judaism. You are healed and you don't even know it. Now, I want to tell you something about that message I got. I used to do that when I was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Sit on the oil tank on the side of my house in New York in Long Island and wine dance with my eyes closed, with my face toward the sun, thinking to myself, there must be more to life than this. I never told anybody that, ever, ever. Nobody ever knew that. That was my place of refuge. Why? Because I used to get beat up every day by my sisters. I used to get my ass whipped every day by my parents. So the only place I felt safe was sitting on the oil tank with my eyes closed, face toward the sun, thinking to myself, there must be more to life than this. So when that voice spoke to me, I knew it was the voice of the Creator. And when I came home from the hospital a couple of weeks ago, that voice said to me, repeat that message. And as I began to repeat that message, my healing accelerated. So people, you must not deviate from the path that you've been placed on now. There is no deviation. Because there's a universe, and I've spoken about this before, the Kemetic cosmological mathematical equation that's unfolded in the heavens. The Kushite Kemetic cosmological mathematical equation. That's one of our shows on our channel. And I tell you about the year that the Kushite year, that is where we are right now, 6,261. Because 6,261 is taking us to the Kushite Kemetic cosmological birth cycle of 6,300, which is a dawn of a new day. On the Greco-Roman calendar, 6,300 corresponds to 2060 people. So I share that because this particular production is a truth production to allow our sister to share with us her truth about the attack that our effort is to bring out, so she has the proper perspective to defend herself from the evilness of the tell lie vision. I yield. Thank you.
I yield. Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're here not to make mainstream media. We're here to each one teach one and speak and make a dialogue from different parts of the community. And we are from different parts of the planet. We are under the ocean, on the other side of the ocean, but it's not problem to us. There are always people who seek the truth. It's not many people in this room, 14 people, but all these people find the truth. And if we remember that Jesus, he also have only 12 disciples, and many other people think that he was crazy man.
Okay, we're going to open the flower up because we always allow the audience to participate in the discussion. And I know there's a lot of people out of the 14, there ain't many of us, but there's a lot of thoughts that is running through people's heads. So please, Barbara, Isma, anyone who wants to open their mic, please feel free. The floor is yours.
And before people think who want to speak,
Oh,
how
shalom, shalom.
right. Hello.
Good afternoon,
Shalom.
Barbara. How are you?
Oh my gosh, I tell you, I am just overwhelmed with joy, thanksgiving, gratitude for all the souls on this call, for the knowledge that I've heard you speak, Makakuvu, here in my house, and as you taught me, and one-on-one, and as you taught on the podcast. I'm so glad you are healed again, but it's proof of the living Mother, Father, Creator to the sons and daughters of His creation. And of course, the sister, I'm sorry, your name, you are a healer. I immediately think of Dr. Sebi. I was his student. I knew his wife and all of that, and how he had to go to battle in the courts and won. And I think of you in the same vein. And of course, over the years, I've read and knew about all the naturopaths and healers and doctors of truth who've been attacked in their homes and died mysteriously. They just disappeared. But we're still here. And I applaud you. My prayers are with you and everyone on this call. I'm just so thankful to know I am not alone, because I am a fighter as well. And truth is what truly, truly matters. It's a two-edged sword. It can cut and it can save you. And there are not too many on this high road. Like the movie said, that Jack Nicholson to someone, you can't stand the truth. But I love the truth, and I have been disciplined. I have been disciplined, I have been loved, and I have been disciplined because of some thoughts that I was thinking. So that is always with me, near and dear. So thank you, dear ones. I honor you, and I'm so grateful, and I'm just so thankful for this call today. Shalom.
Shalom, thank you.
I got to say this, and I want people to hear this very clearly. Many times, many times on our production,
That's his son.
I leave with tears in my eyes. Because without our voice, without the voice of the Van Miller Show, much of this would go unknown. And my tears don't mean I'm no punk. But I share that because I'm not the only one, people, that leaves this production sometimes with tears. And they're not only tears of joy, but the tears of strength. To strengthen us. Let your tears flow and touch the ground, touch the earth, so life springs forth in abundance. So life springs forth in abundance. And there is Zawi. We're at war. We're in a spiritual war, people. And the war is not against us. The war is against the Creator itself.
That's right.
The Creator itself. Our presence is only a vessel by which the war can be acknowledged amongst mankind. But the war is in the heavens, people. It's manifesting itself on the physical plane, but the war is in the heavens. So allow yourself to shed the tears.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to be strengthened by the tears. Allow those tears to touch the earth so that the earth springs forth life in abundance. And as it says, when my people turn their face unto me and turn from their wicked ways, I will heal the land.
Yeah.
Let
Then and only then will I hear.
Let the land be healed. I thank you.
Yes, Makakubu, and you know, when I speak to people, I tell them it is more at this time that we're living in that we focus and stay focused on what our journey is and why we have been placed in this earth during this time, because we can easily be distracted by the things that are going on around us. And I say to people all the time, you need to stay focused on the journey. Don't look to the left, don't look to the right, but stay focused on what has been placed in you to do in this time that we're living in.
Hallelujah.
Many people are lost because we are so easily distracted by what it is other people are doing, and it looks good to us, and we stop to help them, and we lose out on what it is that we're supposed to be doing. So I'm so glad that I'm in a place, in a time that I know I am on a journey, no matter what people are doing. There are going to be people that are going to be lost. Our loved ones are going to be lost. And we have to understand that we are placed here for a time such as this. And you know, I always say that this is not our final place. So we have to stay focused in order that we go to the other place, because some of us are not going. And we have to understand that and know that. It is prevalent that we understand ourselves, who we are, where we're going, and what it is that we are to say and not say, what it is that we are to take in and not take in to our souls and our spirit at this time. Everything is not good for us, and we have to understand, and we have to know that. That is how we live in the time and the place that we're in at this moment. We have to.
Man, share with the people how you came to be the host of I Found My Voice.
Well, it's so amazing that I turned 60 years old and I realized as a Black woman that I had a voice. And I met you, and you said to me, "Oh, the Van Miller Talk Show, I found my voice." And I've been using my voice more and more in the last 3 years. It's going to be going on 4 years that I've allowed myself to be able to use my voice in truth and being transparent to people and allowing people to understand knowledge is knowing. It's not what you think, or it might be. Knowledge is knowing. And that we have to learn to be transparent no matter how much it hurts. We have to be transparent to people, because if we are not transparent, then why would people believe what it is that we're saying? So in this space in my life, you're looking at someone that had congestive heart failure in 2014 that they said I wouldn't live a year, and it's 8 years down the road. And my doctors look at me and they say, "Well, you know what? We know that you're sick, but you don't look like you're sick. But it's a disease. I have it. It does not have me." And we have to understand that. We have a lot of issues that go on in our body, but unless we succumb and allow it to take over us, then we just keep moving, keep staying focused on what it is that we're supposed to do. So it allows us to have a voice no matter where we go and who we confront. You can testify to that. You can speak to that. I had an RN, I posted and said thank you for being here 8 years. I had an RN call me and ask me, "What is it that you're doing to still be alive. And I said, let me tell you something. It is a life change. You have to experience a life change. I had to step away from my family for 2 years because what? My family was very, very stressful. So we have to understand these people can kill you, and they can kill you and not know that that is what they've been sent to do. So we have to know how to step away from these people. You have to, my motto is, I've chosen to live in peace on purpose. You have to know that, oh, that's a stressful space. Then you have to step away from it. Doesn't mean that we don't love them, but we know what they set out, because what? He will use the people that love us most to take us out of here. So on this journey, we have to understand that I love you, but I can't allow you to stop me while I'm on the journey. Even with my children, those were gifts that God gave me to raise. I've raised them, so I had to give them back to him. Now they belong to you. You're responsible for them. I birthed them, I raised them, and you give them back. And when we get to a place that we understand that, and understand you hear people, but don't allow it to just stick in your head. You just got to let it go. That's what having a voice is, and that's what it really means. So it doesn't necessarily mean I'm speaking, I'm saying, we're thinking, we're seeing what's going on around us. And this is a space that allows us around the world to see that and understand. Yes, it's going on, but how does it affect me? It's going on with you, but how does it affect you? Life is going to go on. It's going to go on, and we have to know and understand that.
Teach.
Yes.
That's
all I have to say. I've in the midst, I've learned my tribal name, Star of Truth, Sabdet Mayat, something that I've been doing for years, but I didn't have a name to go with that. Now I have a name. God, he has allowed me to be in places, when to see my name, like for the General Assembly, to see my picture sitting in the middle of that flyer last week with people around the world. They've never met me, but it says that I have a voice. I didn't say not one word during the General Assembly, but the people know that I'm there, know that I have a voice, and we have to understand that. Move in that space and understand. People are given to us to nurture. Sometimes I'm like, okay, why is this person around me? Because he puts that person around you to be responsible for them. We have to understand that. I don't want to fool with them, but you don't have a choice. But it can't be everybody. I had somebody. I'll give this. I had somebody that's still going through a lot of things, and she called me, and I said, you know what? You have to learn how to pray. And she would call me. I would pray for her. I would pray for her. She called me the other week, and she said, "Can I pray for you?" I was like blown away because I was always praying for her, and she has a beautiful prayer. And I said, you have to stop focusing on what the white man is giving to you. You have to focus on what it is that has been placed in you. And when you do that, you will be okay. And when I said, we're not talking about the white man's job. What are you? Oh, we're focusing on my project. When we can get enough people to understand that, then we're going to be at a better place in life, because we're leaders. And you have to know that you're a leader. I have always known that I was a leader. Always. Even in the bad times, I knew that I was a leader. And I'm going to continue to lead. I asked the doctor, I said, I told him, I said, I need 30 more years. He said, oh, you're not going to get 30 more years. And I said, you're just practicing medicine. Because he doesn't have the last say in my life. And the people on here have to understand. You all think that you all keep coming here every week, every Thursday, there is a reason why we're all here. This space is not meant for everybody. And we need to understand that. Some things are getting ready to happen. And the world is going to need the people that are in these little boxes. It's going to need us. And our prayer lives are going to have to be where they need to be, because it's going to be prayer. That's going to be the only thing that's going to be able to save some of these people. We're not going to be able to go to all of these places. We're going to be able to have to just speak the word, and things are going to change. And we have to understand that.
Hallelujah.
We have to. You know, I can't be physically in Africa, but I know, you know what? The things are happening there. We see that on this show. Things happen there. We hear it beforehand. We know what's really going on there. Then these things happen live that they place in these places. But we're going to have to pray for those people and those things that are happening there and stop them before they even start. We have to. Yes. I'm just thankful. I'm thankful that there was a place made for us to have a voice. I'm really thankful. You know, I just move. You say, I need you to do this. I just move. We can't question that. We just have to be able to move. And this is what we're doing. That's all I have to say, Marco Kuvu. You know.
That was plenty.
So true.
Hey,
so
Howard.
wonderful.
Hey, Howard. I see
He's
you
already
over there.
got out of the car. He's already got out of the car. Yeah, he don't even, some days he be like, I said, I know what you're doing, but I know what I have to do. It's a difference.
That's my man. That's my man.
Yeah, but I know what I have to do. He said, oh, it's not for you, but it's for me. I have to do what I have to do.
Right.
And our people around us have to understand that. There is a calling. There is a calling that is given to certain people before we've ever been conceived in our mother's womb. When we come out, we already have a journey. We're going to go down. Things are going to happen, good and bad. We're going to fall in the ditch, but we got to get back up and get back on the path. And we have to know that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even with finding my voice, when I was in the church, grew up in the church, I was always, my bishop said, oh, you're the bad sister. Now I understand why I was a bad sister, because I was always against the grain. You know, they would say stuff and I'm like, well, that's not what that said. They don't want to hear you say that. They don't want, oh, that's the bad sister right there. That's what they would say. But it's okay.
Right on.
You know, it's okay.
That's that high road.
Yeah, that's the high road. That's the high road.
Not too many on that.
Yeah. You know.
So
go there.
So if there's anyone else that wants to share, please do, because if not, Van's gonna take us out with her sermon she just gave us. The cook part she just
You know what? Marco Kuvu, my nephew said that. I went to my niece's service deal. He says, Auntie, he said, we didn't even need a preacher. He said, when you spoke, you gave the sermon. But you know, it's in us. And what's in us, we have to allow that to come out of us.
To manifest.
Yes, manifestation. And we are in that space of speaking truth to the people, whether they want to hear us or not. We're in that space. And we have to know that. Everybody on this call has to know that. You're in a space, and you were not brought to this space for no reason. You're here for a reason. And we have to continue to grow that reason. If we never get any bigger, the ones here in the block know. They already know. You all know what it is that you're supposed to be doing. You just got to speak it out. It's stuck. I tell people, oh, you know what you're supposed to be doing. It's just stuck. Open your mouth so it can come out.
Right on.
You know, and protect your mental space, because we are in a time that man would want to tear down our mental. And some people are going to go crazy because they're worrying about things that they should not be worrying about. Because people are going to go crazy. People are going to fall off. You know, we're sorry, but we've got to protect our mental space.
There you go.
That's what happened to a sister this past week, Miss USA.
Yes.
Jumped out,
Yes.
jumped off the building, killed herself.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Had
30 years
everything.
old. The former Miss
Everything going for
USA.
herself. Yeah. She
But
was
how
the former Miss.
how do we know she wasn't killed? You don't
Right.
know.
We don't.
We don't. I don't believe anything they say, because if you look at
There you go.
everything she was saying, she was studying to be a civil lawyer to help prisoners, indigenous prisoners that have been in there for 20 plus years. So how do we know they didn't kill her?
Right.
Right.
Throughout the building.
Yeah.
That's reason enough. They can listen. I don't believe a single word starting years ago. I don't believe the lie.
Yeah.
There you go.
Too much. So protect your mental space. Always be vigilant about the people that are around you. Everybody that comes to you is not for you.
Absolutely.
We entertain people. Witches are real. I had that in my house a few years ago. A witch. She was real. And she was sent to take me out. Somebody informed me, called me and said, your face came before me and said that there's somebody in your life that spends most of their day praying against your health. 2 years. I dealt with it.
But I had to call the old people, the old saints, and have them to pray. And they told me, make sure you get everything that is a part of out of your house. She was telling people that I was her mother and everything. So you got to be careful. Protect your space. Protect yourself with people around you. When new people come around you and say, oh, I'm this and I'm that, you got to protect your space. Because they're real.
Isma, you've been quiet all day. Isma in New York. You want to open your mic, Isma?
Yes, Isma.
Greetings. This is Isma. I'm here. No, I was just continuing my planning of an art exhibition event and fashion event that for which the theme is Afrofuturism. And it's a cultural aesthetic that looks at our trajectory through the lens of science fiction, technology, science, so on and so forth. Our story and mysticism for our continuation. The Black Panther movie sort of brought that to the screen and lifted the awareness of some of those who did not see our contribution to the world. So Afrofuturism looks at that in an art exhibit and through fashion. It's particularly through fashion is what I'm doing on my end, because although we say they cannot take away your education, once you have it, we have to see that if it's their education, it's the incorrect education, and we need revisionist education. So even though we say they cannot take it away, but we can use that saying, but then it's not delivered with accuracy and truth, then you haven't really received anything. But in terms of fashion, and why I chose that aspect to display Afrofuturism is because no one can ever tell you what you can't wear and how you can't look. So going forward with that, if you decide that you want to wear a fro that's 10 feet high, no one can tell you to take it off. And I see that as one of the great determinants of our self-determination, and one of the aspects of Nguba Saba, self-determination. So that cultural aesthetics, you can display that in your appearance at any point in time and grow your own confidence and your own self-confidence in your display of your culture, which no one can take away from you. So regardless of what others try to, those who try to disintegrate or erase what we have contributed, we go back in time and see we were the beginning of everything. So we have made all the contributions. So the white supremacy, phraseology has no purpose, phraseology has principle, no purpose in our story. That's all I have to say for now.
Doing the chair. Thank the Most High. Sid, you want to close us out with some words?
So I am the headliner for the for Atlanta Fashion Week in June.
Oh, excellent. In June. Okay, I'm gonna go online and look that up then.
Yeah. It's June 21st, June 21st through the 26th.
Oh, 21 through the 26th. Okay, I'm going to speak to also our designer to see if perhaps they may want to look that up and take a trip there to see what they may want to contribute, because their fashion is very Afro futuristic and has always been.
They're looking for global. They're looking for global designers. I know that space is still open.
Okay, that's excellent. Okay, I'm gonna go on there and look, and then if I have to communicate with you, I'll communicate with you through that event.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thanks for that info.
You're welcome.
I was gonna say something, but I'll just let the music speak for itself, because there's nothing more that I could say than what has already been said. So,
Well, crank it then. Unless Sid, you want to close us out with a few words, or you want
to? Sure. Like discussion today was very thought-provoking, and it was really interesting to listen to. Unfortunately, some cases like Miss Easy, I apologize, I did not remember the entire name.
Azalea, like the flower.
Azalea, okay. So unfortunately, such cases are common across the world, like especially for the people involved in traditional medicine, because I follow Indian news, so it's a very unfortunately like these allopathy versus Ayurveda debate, and the doctor Western medicine, they acknowledge that Western medicine is good, but it's not good everywhere. Here are areas where we are better, so we can work together to heal people. And this is just very unfortunate reality that we are living in, that two systems are confronting each other. All the spiritual stuff. And also
Find me a house down there.
Maku, you mentioned the International Space Station getting dismantled. It's going to happen by 2030, which is also a very special year if you follow the stars prophecies. And so I kind of did not think about that event yet, like about the International Space Station. I only knew it as a fact that it was going to be dismantled, and the Chinese and Indian ones are going to be sent there to be working there. So Yeah, that was a very interesting point, which I did not think about previously. And to every speaker, it was very nice hearing you. I learned a couple of things today. And, yeah, I want to thank everyone. And 12 in the night right now, so yeah, I will not go on for too long.
All right. All right.
Yeah, thank you everyone, and have a nice day.
Ahmad, you can take us out. Let the funk flow.
Bow to the people. Bow to the people. Power.
A beacon of hope, I'm blowing out smoke. I'm getting high, writing rhymes with my head to the sky, clapping at birds and giving praise. And you'll be amazed at what's displayed when the beats played. Ayo, this rhyme slays. Any rap is irrelevant rant. This is your last chance. This is the change you've been waiting for, anticipating for. The metaphor is physical. This is why you did endure the hardship and tribulation, racism, humiliation. How can they shit on the people who truly built this nation? And I'm debating what I should bring: the axe, the ox, the beast, the dragon, or the battle cat. This ain't no battle rap. I had to lead that ghetto crap and tell the ghetto fags that being ghetto should lead to positive acts. This is the poem to tell the people who push that we gon' push back. Power to the people.
Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people.
Cold hands and freezing feet. Across a heartbeat like a simple loop on the NPC drum machines. Eyes wide open like a hook, looking to hunt his opponent. What a jerk, like scavengers, warfare the world want us to be. But I'm Egyptian, originally black, not white. Slavery exists in my today, I know my past life. Not looking for money and jewels, just freedom to breathe and rights to choose. Hate is a myth, stop the evil from heaven, his freedom and be stiff. Cause hip-hop is in him ever since he was born. But physical training was the main aim and the call. The discrimination turned his physical dreams into a lyrical war. So let me tell you, you and your, we should believe, love, dream, submit, commit, should fight and achieve the free human rights from the underground prison hell. And be aware, Rastafari movement is international. UNITED, RPM, Run DMC, Joker Screw, your ass, Pak Shakur. Most FK was one, Anwar Sadat, Yasser Arafat, Abdel Nasser, Luther King and Malcolm X. These are who we are representing on the streets. Cause positivity is the first step of peace. So get off your knees and let me hear you say, power to the people, power to the people,
power to the people, power to the people, power to the people.
The hood niggas in me can't escape from him, cause he grew up with me, cause he grew up in me. I know you still didn't meet the love of future husband you wish to have in me, you wish to have in me. I write you a poem to inspire your soul with my greatness. I mix my ink with the flower oil so you feel love and nature. To prove you're unreal, you need to understand my people need me. Cause the hood nigga learned love from his people. That's why the love kind of nigga you need has hard time breathing. Yeah, don't get it twisted, this is unconditional love, believe me.
Power to the people. Power, power, power to the people. Power, 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 power to the people.
Power to the people of World Media College and Jazz Lovers Television. We see you next Thursday.